I think that this is a good topic to talk about because I just made a video. Good morning, Jess. I made a video about Ayesha Howard, the woman that just had the baby by NBA player Anthony Edwards. And I wanted to talk about the fact that there are women that knowingly get into situations with men that have already shown that they are not going to be a good father. They're not going to take care of the kids. And I want to talk about women who never learn. And yeah. And also I want to talk about why is it so acceptable in the black community that black men, BMs, are irresponsible with their private parts. Having four babies by four different women in the same year. You know what I mean? Or men having multiple baby mamas and not even wanting to be responsible and to not even want to be responsible and not even want to take responsibility for the consequences of their actions. And I want to talk about the best way for black women specifically to stop deadbeat dads, to stop men that are crying about child support. Oh, thanks so much, Mimi. And I tell you what, the number one thing that BWs can do to stop deadbeat dads and BMs that complain about child support, even though it's their own fault that they have to pay child support. If they were responsible with their seed, they wouldn't be in that position. It is for black women to be more responsible with their wombs and to stop having children. And better yet, is beyond that, to stop having intercourse with men that if something goes left, he's not going to be there for you. There's just no way you can make me believe that a woman, that is involved with a man that had 3 different baby mamas is going to do right by her and her child if she decides to have one too. No. Aurora, you said you're pro-choice. There's nothing wrong with being pro-choice if that's your choice. But, I would like women to understand that abortion is not a form of birth control. It is not. So the better solution would be to be responsible with your womb and not get pregnant in the first place. People make it like going through a abortion is easy. It's not. So anyway, yeah, I think that we should really talk about, things as women to where we can tell other women, maybe impressionable young women, that, hey, you know what? You don't want to get pregnant. You don't want to get pregnant by a Dusty. You don't want to be in that situation. Then you need to lock it down. Period. That's the best way to stop deadbeat dads, by not allowing them to become a dad in the first place. And you do that by closing off access to your body. You know what I'm saying? And I find it hard to, feel a lot of sympathy towards women that knowingly choose a man that ain't no good, that has a
Women
proven
that
track record.
knowingly
Oh, go ahead, Mimi.
has a women that knowingly.
Oh my
Go ahead, Mimi.
can you hear me good, Trigger? Cause my phone acting up.
Has a women that
You might have to drop down and come back up.
Okay, I'm about to.
Hey, how you doing, Ashley? Yeah, I was just saying that I really do feel like that's just something we don't really talk about as women or as black women, that the easiest and most preventative way of stopping this type of thing, black women going through deadbeat dad situations, is to not entertain them in the first place. Oh yeah, you can go ahead, Mimi.
Okay, I'm good now. My sound good, Trigger.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah. Of course, thank you for letting me up. You know I love you. And yeah, I just finished watching your video, Trigger. You don't understand. I was doing an Instacart order. Everything that you said, like the people was looking at me in the store, like, what is she listening to? But everything, and I had to stop because one of the black men in there, like, you know, when we go to the store, a regular store we go to, and it's always one of them in there that's trying to talk to us. And he keeps saying, like, oh, you know, you never called me. You never called me. You know how you write a nigga number down and erase it as soon as you walk away. But I had to explain to him, there's no reason for me to be talking to you. Just because I see you in the store or I seen you a couple times, like, y'all females got to stop giving niggas the time of day just because he opened his mouth and gave you breath. Like, girl, you think you special because somebody what do we say on here, smexing you or having smex with you? Like, you're not special because of that. You're not special because you little baby mother. You're not special because you got a baby with Anthony Edwards. Like you said in your video, he's trifling. Who wants to have a dude that, and like you just said in the video too, Trigger, when you was like, you got to think in your mind, would you really want this nigga to be a father of one of your seeds, one of your kids? Like, make it make sense. I don't feel bad for Ayesha. I don't feel bad for that baby either, because if your mother really cared about you, she wouldn't have put you in those predicaments. Sorry to be cruel, but I don't be feeling sorry for these kids, you know, that get done boosie because they mother don't want to make rational decisions for her kids. That's what you do as a mother. Like, come on now. And I've been there, done that. I have 2 kids with my kids that he went on to have another baby. You think that I care about that? Or any of that phases me? Well, and that's why Anthony Edward, the main baby mother that he got, she don't care about all these extra kids and stuff. Long as the nigga do for her and her kids, she don't care. Like, she'll put the rest of y'all to the side. She don't care if he don't claim y'all kids or nothing. That's the type of woman she is. That's why that's his main chick, because she don't care about making a nigga take accountability for the shit that he doing out here. But yeah, I just finished watching your video. I loved it so much, but I gotta finish to the end to see what number you said to put in the chat, put in the comments at the end. But yeah, like, I don't like that. And I really don't feel bad for her. And that's all I wanted to say, Trip.
Oh, okay. All right, Mimi. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I'll say, like, I definitely get where you're coming from. I would just say the only thing, I do feel sorry for the kids just because it ain't their fault. You know what I mean? It's their parents that decided to have intercourse and then bring them in the world, you know.
That's the
So
truth.
I do feel sorry for them, but I definitely don't feel sorry for Aisha. Like, I don't. And it's like, you know, she want to come and get online and make it like she was this innocent, naive girl that didn't know nothing. This is a grown woman that's way older than him, and she was a dancer as well. And you've been around a lot of dudes that's bogus, and you know how to tell a bogus man. You know what I mean? But you
Yeah.
ignored that for whatever reason. You know?
Yeah. I do, like I said, it might sound cruel, but like the only reason I say that is because it's so many, like, so much of that going on. You know what I'm saying? Her story is just in a spotlight. And it be women that got 2 and 3 kids already. You know what I'm saying? You already know better. You already did your last 3, 4 kids boosie like that. Like, why would you keep making kids that keep having them go through that? Like, you really don't care about your kids at the end of the day. I feel like women that constantly do stuff like that and want to put all the blame on the man, even though he is dead wrong, like, you wrong for that, for putting your child in that situation. And I really feel like women like that genuinely do not care about their kids. But I definitely agree with what you just said, Trigger. You know I do.
Yeah. And I definitely say, Mimi, I definitely don't think they care about their kids either. I don't think that you can care about your kids and have be the 4th baby mama. I don't believe you can, because if you really wanted your child to have a dad, you know, you would. You know what I'm saying? You would choose somebody better for him. I just and you know, my thing is that
Exactly.
you're right that there are women who don't care, just like, and I do think Anthony Edwards baby mama, the one that's the main chick or whatever, that he just was celebrating their daughter's first birthday, I think she don't care about none of the other kids. She don't care if he's a deadbeat. She don't care what he got going on as long as he takes care of her daughter. But I wish that she would realize that he's only going to take care of their daughter as long as they're in a relationship. The minute they don't be in a
Exactly.
relationship, or the minute she get tired of him cheating on her or playing in her face, and she leave or he leave because he finds somebody that he like better, that baby is never gonna see him again, and that's sad.
Exactly. Very sad. And a lot of them are out here. I swear, I have literally like 5 or 6 different comparisons to Aisha right now. These females out here are really struggling, life in shambles behind these niggas, and it's really sad. But you can't. What they say about the horse in the water, like you can't do that. So I just don't. I really feel like I've been giving up on a lot of black women. Like I've just been giving up on them because I feel like a lot of these females are a lost cause. Like you say, Trigger, a lot of these women are male centered, and I feel like you be having me cracking up in every video when you be like, you be like, y'all don't got y'all Prime membership. It only take one day. Like if it's really if it's really that deep, girl, go get your Prime membership. If it's like you gotta get your rocks off or whatever, like if it's that deep, girl, go get that Prime membership. Y'all be letting these weak ass niggas dog you and your kids out, and then when you like you said about the main baby mother, soon as you stop messing with the nigga or really trying to be there for the nigga, that baby not gonna see him. Like
Oh
I don't
yeah.
be understanding
Try, try not
why
to use
y'all.
the try not to use the N word, Mimi, because I'm not for sure if
Oh,
they
I'm
might flag us.
so I'm so sorry, Trigger. I'm gonna drop and come back. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's okay.
yeah. Can I answer the questions on there? Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute, Joe. Are you sound white?
Do
Are
I
you
sound
white?
white?
Yes.
That's racist.
Okay. Have a great day. Bye bye.
That's not
No, no,
racist.
no, no male monsters here. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to go somewhere else. Why in the world would I ever let you talk about anything? If you don't get your butt out of here and go find you a Taylor Swift live, sir, get out of here. Come
Why
on.
do people call the wrong things
I
racist?
don't know.
Like,
And I don't know, girl. And for the life of me, I don't understand why white people think that it's offensive for them to call a black person racist. Like, I legitimately don't know. It does not affect black people the way that it affects white people because white people are literally really racist. Like, honestly, really, really, really racist. So you could never call me racist
hmm
because I'm not. So it's like, what are you really talking about? I'm about to block him. Hold on. I'm about to block him and this other
well, if
weird
you wasn't white,
Nigerian.
you could have just said you wasn't white, unless he's offended that.
Man,
Man.
but look, personally, it's like there are plenty of black people that come up like and they sound like educated or they have a certain cadence that some people in the chat be like, oh, are they white? They white. And I'm like, no, I don't think that they're white. I think that they just have a certain cadence of speaking that you may associate with that, but they're still black. I can hear it underneath. But no,
hmm
he had to go. He had to go.
Yeah,
But
or he one of them ones with the white mother, black father.
yeah. But yeah, either way, he had to get going. He had to get going.
So let me
I
make sure
just,
that this is the right one. Is this the situation where he said he didn't want the baby? Is this the topic?
yeah,
Um,
yeah. The NBA player that told her to get the abortion.
Yeah, yeah, because I just had a whole thing. And some men I just stopped because when he made the status saying how wrong she was and all that, I commented on it. And, he got a lot of views and feedback. And he went from being able to have a healthy conversation to just, y'all dumb, y'all act like y'all don't know anything. So I wanted to make sure this was the same one. But I think women need to be more accountable, but I also think that men think that some abortions are a walk in the park for every woman. Like it is hard on the mental when you go into those type of doctors' offices. They have people protesting. It's people in there crying. I went with a friend, so it's not always easy. It's people that can't have kids anymore after going through the procedure. So I think that men, when they just be like, oh yeah, you should just do that because he don't want it, it really makes me mad, especially since we already take on the birth control thing, which has so many effects on our bodies, just so that they can be out here free and that we could sleep with them without, getting pregnant, no matter how much it's affecting our bodies. So I feel like it's always like, okay, you get rid of it, you figure out a way to not get pregnant. I just can't control myself because I'm a man, but yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
my
definitely
opinion.
agree with that. I definitely agree with that. I think a lot of people, when they talk about abortions, they don't talk about that. They don't talk about the fact that it's not no walk in the park for a woman. And there are a lot of women that have, emotional damage afterward. I had a friend that had multiple abortions. I've never had a abortion, but she had multiple ones, and I had to talk to her a lot about her mental state. And the reason why she was doing it is because the guy that she was with didn't want to use protection, but he didn't want her to have a child either. So she kept allowing him access to her body, and she kept going to the clinic. Oh, you guys, you already know I got hit with the ban. I did appeal it, but I don't know how long it will be before I get, if they'll let me know if I got accepted or not. So what I'm gonna do is maybe I should just wait and see if I get my appeal approved, and then I can come back. Yeah, you guys. I got banned on my main page. Well, I don't know. I appealed it, so I'm trying to wait and see if I can get the people that were in the live on the other account. See if I can get them in here. Yeah, just a second, y'all. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like they definitely hated on me for sure. For sure. I appealed it, but I'm not quite for sure if I win the appeal or not. So I was just trying to see if I could get T back in here and Coach T. Because they were the ones that were on the panel. I think Jazzy was on there too. So I'm gonna see. Yeah, it's ridiculous, honestly. If y'all could share this with T Scorpio too, because I know that T Scorpio was up there. I mean, it's really ridiculous. Like I said, it's crazy. It's literally crazy. Like it's literally insane. Like now, everybody can come up here and they can talk about black women and talk about black women this, that, and the third, and how they don't like them and how they don't like their hair and how they this, that, and the third, and nobody ever, 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 you know what I'm saying? Like nobody ever reports those lives and takes those lives down. Thank you so much, supervillain. But then, you know what I'm saying? But when I say anything, it's just it's ridiculous, man. Like,
Listen, the haters be hatering. We're not even gonna just listen. They do
what?
not like the truth is coming out, and it's really a reflection of them, and they love getting offended when we're talking about the problematic men. You can always bet your pickle when we're talking about problematic men, there's always men coming up to defend them. And it's like, are you the men that we're talking about? Why does this
Yeah,
concern you so much?
because you know
Because if
what?
it
That's what
don't
I
apply, let it fly.
because that's what I was about to say before they cut me off. I was about to say, that story of the rapper, whatever, in Texas that got unalived, that his 5-year-old got unalived. When I was reading comment threads about that situation, why was people blaming the mom for the girls unaliving? They were saying that this is her fault because she chose to have a baby by a rapper. She chose to have a baby by a Pookie and Ray Ray. And I was like, what? So y'all see at least 2 black men in that video unalive another black man and his child, and y'all first go to is to blame the black mother who wasn't even there. Like, I was like, this is exactly the reason why, like, the black community, the situations and problems will always stay the same. Because it's like, why in the world would you immediately go to blaming the black woman for that? Like, and that's what I mean. It's like no accountability from the men in the community at all. No matter what goes on, in some way, somehow, some shape or form and fashion, they're gonna find a way to blame their mama, their aunties, their sisters, their cousins, their baby mama, their girlfriends,
Block
something.
him. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Oh no,
Block
go
him
ahead.
now. Block him now. He just showed up. Block
Ooh,
him.
where's he at? Where's he at?
If you he's somewhere. He's somewhere. If you look on your thingy, he just joined in. So yeah, he got to go.
Oh yeah, I see him. I see him. I see him. He
Ball,
getting blocked
ball,
right now.
yeah, ball head Hassan. Yeah,
I just blocked him. I just blocked him. Yeah, he gone. I blocked him.
another repeat. Anyways, keep going, sis. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's okay. Thank you so much for telling me. But yeah, that this is just what I'm saying. It's like when we talk about like pew pew violence, or we talk about the ex trafficking of black women in the community, or we talk about the fact that women in the community, or we talk about the fact that black women are the most unalived race of women in the US. It's like what exactly, can we ever hope to improve if all the time y'all always saying, but what all the time y'all always saying, but what about the black women's? But what about the black women's? It's the black women's. It's not your mom's fault if you made a decision to unalive somebody at 18 years old. I everybody has a choice to make. You know what I mean? And decisions to make. It's not this whole idea of not taking accountability is like I just don't understand it. I don't understand simultaneously wanting to be the quote unquote leader and then wanting to put the responsibility of everything in the black community and how it functions and runs on the women. Because if everything is on the women and they're able to make it function, then why would you be a leader? Why would anybody need you to do anything? But y'all let me know if y'all can. Y'all said that it's glitching. Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you just
We
fine.
can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know. It's just very upsetting that, no matter what we talk about, the men will always come on a panel in some type of way or attempt to put the blame on the woman. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, well, if you're not to blame for anything, then are you perfect then? You're not to blame when you go unalive somebody else. You're not to blame when you go grape somebody else. You're not to blame when you go abuse this girl and she has to leave you and now she's a single mother and it's not you. You're not to blame when you say that black women aren't married, but y'all don't never marry nobody. So of course the women that choose you the most wouldn't be married because y'all don't value marriage or family. So it's like, at what point are we able to have a conversation? And then it's like all of these men have no problem getting so buck with women. But then when it's a man around, they on hush mode. They not saying nothing. That to me is so strange. Like y'all have so much energy for women.
All the time. I just boil down to just that's just the harsh reality is that these men do not like women, and this is why I say BOK women should stay away from BOK men because they do not like us, and it shows. It shows they just do not like us, and that's just the harsh reality that we're gonna have to just accept and do away with this black love, this black community, this black unity, this black this blackity black nonsense. If the men are not reciprocating it with like reciprocating that love and respect, they not. I don't know if they just are mad at their mothers because usually when men are mad at single mothers, they mad at either their own baby mama or they really mad at their own mother. Which is always one of the two factors. I always boil down to that you're just mad at your mother. Is you really want to tell your mother you wanted her to make a better decision. You wish she should have never chose your father. You wish you never grew up in poverty. You wish all when you watching other little kids having their daddies come and pick them up, drop them off to school. You wish you was one of those kids. That is the problem. That is the problem. They want to tell it to their mothers.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. And I just don't understand this like deep rooted hatred, that these men have for black women when the idea, the only reason why they're even alive or even well enough to comment this nonsense is because of a black woman. Because if your mother was that bad, you wouldn't be alive to even talk. You know what I'm saying? There were times when you were growing up as a child, you couldn't take care of yourself at all.
I agree. I think that I'm not a male or a man, so I can't speak to the man's point of view, but I'll speak as the child who grew up with a deadbeat dad. For me, my issue with my mom came up, like I mentioned, with not telling the truth about who my father was. Even though, like, I could kind of see who he was because he was like, a deadbeat. He was absent, in and out, be bothered when he feel like it. It always bothered me, like, why are you lying about this man? Why won't you just tell the truth? So I think that for men, for black men, they have a hard time identifying that their dad is a deadbeat. They don't want to believe it. Like they don't want to believe it, especially not when they have this fantasy in their mind. It's like the orphan Annie. They think that one day some rich billionaire is gonna show up and rescue them from their life of struggle and strife and poverty with a single mom. Like it's sheer delusion. And that's why I think that mothers, baby mothers, single mothers should start telling their kids the truth about these daddies. Yo, daddy, he's nobody, he's useless, he's worthless, but you don't have to be like him. You don't have to be a useless, worthless bum.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see your perspective for sure. Um, I mean, I I don't know. I mean, when y'all have these
Discouraging.
conversations,
It's discouraging because you see
yeah.
no progress. There's no
Hmm.
progress. There is no type of um like like I said, no progression in the conversation when you are having with these males. That's why I understand a lot of people say, well, I don't talk to the men no more, I'd rather just talk to the women, because men do not listen at all. But the only thing I would say about that, when you say we only talking to women, sometimes depending on the topic, depending on how it's being discussed, is leaving these men, allowing them to run amok and then be reckless. You know what I'm saying? And this is why, and my thing is this: if we are only going to talk to women from now on and not talk to men, right there alone, that's creating the separation that a lot of people are saying that they're not ready to do. I hear a lot of people say they don't want to have a separation, saying they don't want to leave the black man behind, et cetera, et cetera. I get that. But if we are saying that we only can actually talk to women because talking to women is actually getting us somewhere, then what does that mean? That means that you have no choice but to leave them behind. Yeah, my baby clapping. He clapping his hands. Exactly. Personally, I
You
want it to
said,
be like
period, mom.
I want it to be like a Noah's Ark. Like it got to be a new Noah's Ark going, like happening. Like just wash away all the dusties from the ages from 18 to like all the way to 100, because for some reason they live a long time sometimes, and just basically focus on a new. Give birth to the new black man, because these black men ain't it. They need to just be extinguished. If I'm gonna be honest with you, we gotta take at least like women should stop giving birth and then probably start back procreating another like what 100 years, honestly speaking. Yeah, they just like that guy got up and showed like he can't stay on topic, can't stay on task, need to be redirected. And then even when you get the redirection, you still are like you don't have no integrity. That's really what it is. Like y'all don't have no integrity. I'm so sick and tired of all of this legal talk. Oh, well, it's legal. Well, child support and paternity and marriage license. Like y'all have such a problem with things being legal. Let's talk about morality. Let's talk about y'all integrity. Let's talk about y'all character. That's really what's important here. And I think that they are missing that. Y'all don't have no integrity. Y'all are bankrupt in character and morality and values and finances and spirit. Like y'all really have to get yourselves together to come up on a public platform and see a black male who has the resources and who has access to the resources and who can get the resources needed to be able to take care of and provide and protect a black child, a black female child at that. And you get up in here and say, well, I don't know his situation. Excuse me? That's y'all are the problem.
All right, Coach T. All right, I'm gonna go down here to supervillain and then media maven. Go ahead, supervillain.
Hey, Trig. What's
Hey,
up, y'all? What's up, panel?
hey,
I could have.
supervillain.
Thank you. I couldn't really figure out what number one was about, so I'm gonna skip it. Number two solution for me is simple.
Hey, supervillain.
Yeah.
The only thing that it was about is there's a girl, she's like an IG baddie or whatever. She's also a dancer. She's the baby mama to the rapper Lil Baby. However,
Oh,
she
okay.
just got pregnant. She just had the baby by a NBA player named Anthony Edwards, and he had three children by three different women in the past year, and she chose to go ahead and get pregnant by him as well. And she had posted some DMs where he was telling her to get a abortion. And the child right now is 4 months old, and he just filed a motion with his lawyers that he doesn't want any visitation, he doesn't want any custody, he essentially doesn't want anything to do with the child. And so basically, we were just talking about, like, women that never learn. Like, why would you choose a man like that already showed that he's not really in the life of any of the children except the one child, and the reason why he's in that child's life is because he's still dealing with the mom. So that's what it was
Mm,
about. So that's how it goes into like deadbeat dads and black men being irresponsible, with their private parts and stuff like that.
okay. Yeah, that's unfortunate. And when decisions like this are made, it's ultimately the punishment goes down to the child, or the child has to deal with the suffering. So I'm just going to sidebar and say this, though, because I know it's not the popular belief. I believe you can raise a happy, successful child without the interference of their father. Now, I know it's not ideal, and most people want to do the nuclear family. But my thing is, and this is why I say I don't do the shaming single mom thing or whatever, because number one, it's 2025. Families come in all different shapes and sizes. And number two, if the man was a degenerate and can abandon his child or have that type of attitude, does he automatically become a saint because he wants to be in a child's life? Like, does that correct his character flaw? He'll be the same man, but just involved in a child's life. And I don't know, and I know it's not often on TikTok, but there are a lot of people whose dads were in their life and made their life a complete living hell. I'm going to probably do the most popular case, the Menendez brothers, right? So I know we like to do this push for nuclear family, father involvement. The Menendez brothers grew up in a two-family household, upper middle class, had their fathers very involved in their life, and they are one of the most notorious unalivers in American history because their father was a piece of degenerate. So again, I know it's not popular belief, but I do believe you can raise a child that's happy without the father's involvement, especially if the father is a degenerate. And that's why I keep pushing. Like whenever I hear they say father involvement, or even with the deadbeat dad thing for number three. Well, if the guy was a deadbeat, why would you? Does he automatically not become a deadbeat? Like, does his character change because he's now involved in the child's life? Like a lot of these people, and I'm sorry, children that were raised by single mothers or not fathers in their household or whatever have you, that was a saving grace. It really was. I know these men like to think that I'm gonna take this talking point from T. I know a lot of y'all like to think y'all would have the Cosby life if your father was involved, but if he was a degenerate and an asshole in the first place, what makes you think? I mean, you know what I mean? Like that doesn't it doesn't change his character. It just means he'll be an asshole every day in your home. So I don't know. And for the number two, with the irresponsible body parts, I'm gonna say this, and I know it's unfair to put the onus on women, but I have to just keep it real. I will never expect my apex predator to be the person I go to for safety. I don't expect more from men. It's really going to take women not having kids anymore, or not actually depending on these nignogs. And when I say nignogs, I mean all men, not just black men, to step up and be there. At this point, there was one point in nature when women really just utilized men for DNA purposes and took their children and offspring, or I want to say children, to the community and was raised by the community. I'm not saying we're going to go back to that. It's probably unlikely because it's a patriarchy, but there was a time when that happened. Again, I can't, like, a lot of these solutions are looking for men to be better. But if we acknowledge, and a lot of us on here come here and say that men inherently aren't the best people in the world, I don't understand expecting them to do good when you inherently know they're not good in the first place. So I don't know. That's where I'm at. I yield.
Okay. All right, supervillain. All right, I'm gonna go down so that everybody can speak. I'm gonna go here to Media Maven.
Everybody.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Hey.
On the Ayesha Howard point, I think she made a financial decision. She wasn't making a decision for a healthy family or necessarily a healthy child. Black men are absolutely irresponsible with their private parts, and black women have been conditioned through media, through music, and everything else to be as well and to accept the bare minimum. And how do we stop deadbeat dads? Stop creating them by stop having children.
Okay. I mean, I think that what Media Maven said was like, clear and concise and to the point, and I really agree with what she said. I All right, so let me keep going forward. Sir Swindle, before you start speaking, I just want to say I'm a little confused as why you were in your feelings, in the comments. I think a lot of times when you hear black people, hear black women speak, y'all like to just put another spin on to what people were saying, like when you were in there talking about our black women gods and our women gods, I think you said, our women gods and stuff like that. And that to me is like, it's a bit annoying, so I'm interested to understand, like, what exactly did you mean by that? Because you come in the comments and you say that, imagine what the world would look like if women were in charge. Well, we can already see what the world looks like with men in charge. And what do we have? We have famine, we have ex trafficking, we have unalivings, we have honor unalivings, we have a whole host of things that are happening horrifically. So if women were in charge, things couldn't get any worse. So I think this idea of this elevated, idea or mind frame of what you think men are is really literally insane, because you act like we live in a utopia. I could understand if we lived in paradise conditions, we were in a utopia, nobody was hungry, we all weren't working, we were living off the land, we all had great lives and were healthy and everything was legit. Then I could see you say, hey, you know what's the problem? Why are you guys tripping? Everything is perfect out here in these streets. But that's not what's going on. So exactly what are you talking about? But you can go ahead. I'll give you 2 minutes to speak uninterrupted. Provided, you don't be disrespectful or say nothing crazy. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Please and thank you. And also good morning to the women in the panel. That whole question stemmed from I was triggered by T or whatever, Scorpio. I was kind of triggered because she said should get rid of all black men. And that kind of triggered me because I was like, well, I wonder what would be you women's perfect perspective if men were not involved. I mean, like if men weren't involved in no kind of way, and it was just a planet full. I'm trying to see if I could gain some knowledge on what that would look like.
I
And
mean,
What
I
do you
know,
listen,
I
think?
know a planet full of women, like the grape rates would like drop into 0%. So maybe one thing would be that, and also the unaliving rates would probably plummet as well, seeing as though men globally are responsible for 95 to 96% of all unalivings and 99.1% of all forcible grapes. So those two things would plummet to the dirt. So basically we be almost crime free. I'm not saying there aren't any women that are capable of crime, but I think it would be almost, non-existent. So those would be two things right there that I could show you that wouldn't be existing with women just being women. But with that being said, I think that she was talking about the state of black men, and I'll allow T to speak on it because she's the one that said what she said. But I think she was saying that there's a state of what's going on in the black community. She wasn't calling for any black men to be gone. She was talking about stopping having the children. But go ahead, T. I'll let you explain what you were saying, because you can, of course, explain what you meant, because maybe I don't even know what you meant. But go
no,
ahead,
no,
sis.
no. You was on point with the first one. In the second part, that I'm saying that where he misunderstood me when I said it should be a purge to actually, like, if I had it my way, if I can control every woman, I would tell women to stop having children with all the men that's already existing. When I say men, I mean adult human males. Stop, don't procreate with them because the culture is too toxic. Y'all too far deep in your mental illness. Y'all do not like women. Is the misogyny, the misogyny is rampant. And we consistently being blamed for everything, right? Like, y'all don't like the fact that this baby mama treatment, you don't like, not treatment, like no one like the idea of black women having babies, right? Because women always get the short end of the stick, all these smush smushes. Well, it's your fault that you a single baby mother. So my thing is that if the black community gonna exist in a healthy way, we basically gonna have to stop procreating and procreate for like stop procreating for like a good 100 years, so we could wipe out all the traumatization in our genes and our genetics. And if I'm gonna keep it a buck, and then possibly procreate at that time. And if there's no more black people, then so be it. Because the idea that how men speak about their own children, y'all don't care about the black community, y'all don't care about black people, y'all only care about getting access to the cat because y'all know only one way to make a baby. Y'all do not care about the black race in its entirety. Y'all don't, and please do not try to pretend like you do.
I just wanted to address what Truck God said in the comment. He said that women grape each other at high rates as well. That is a bold-faced lie from the deepest, darkest pits of hell. And I really want you to understand how much of a lie that is. 99.1% of all forcible grapes are committed by men. Do you hear that? 99.1%. So please stop the games and stop lying. All right? Like, how many cases have you ever heard of women talking about when they talk? Man, I'm not even about to entertain stupidity, but please stop it. Like, and that, I think that is very annoying to me, is that when y'all want to prove a point so bad that y'all resort to lying. Like, stop that. Stop lying, because all it does is make y'all look real crazy. Like, because that's just ridiculous. Like, I can't even believe that you even let that come out your mouth. Like, I can't take y'all seriously when y'all are uneducated and y'all lie. Like, anyway, let sir respond to T. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, that would be fair as far as a lot of that. But let's just not sit here and act like there's a man that would do it, and then there's not a woman that would do it. See, it's the Uno reverse card for me, and as
What do
long
you
as
mean?
the Uno reverse card,
What are you
meaning
referring to? I'm confused. What are you
no,
referring to?
I'm just speaking in general now, just based off the dialogue that we just had. I'm trying to get to the point to where it's easy to blame a man for a lot of things, and that's a fair gig. I mean, we can blame you could blame men, and men can find ways to blame you as well.
Okay,
It's
so
the
sir, just
it's the
one
Hold up,
Uno
second.
just
Just
own
reverse.
up,
one
just
second,
own up
sir.
to what's
I'm
being
gonna
said, bro.
go ahead and just interject there, sir, one time. I don't like to have conversations based on feelings. I like to have conversations based on reality. When you said like you can blame a man, you can blame a woman as well, or these situations would be happening, there are a million studies that have been done that show and prove that women are not as violent as men. Period. That's a fact. Like, this isn't my feelings. This isn't emotional. It isn't an Uno reverse card. That's a fact. It's also a fact that men commit the majority of all of these acts that we're just talking about. That's a fact. So it's not blaming women. Say, oh, well, a woman can do it too. Women usually do not do it. That's the reason why men play in your face so much. That's the reason why when a woman goes off on a man, emasculates him, talks about him crazy, gets caught up cheating or something like that, and that man unalives her, you see a million men talking about, that's why you don't know, you don't talk about men like that. You don't treat a man like that. You don't know what we'll do. We'll go crazy. We'll go off the deep end. But if a woman does something and goes crazy because she's experiencing that same thing, or busts up his car, breaks his car, does something, everybody's flabbergasted. Oh no, she should have just walked away from it, because we already know the psyche of men and women is different. So please stop. Like, we have to live in reality when we have these conversations and actually do things that can actually make it a fact-based conversation versus an emotional conversation. There's no way you can ever spin this around and put it on women, because statistically factually, historically, socially, all the studies have been done that women generally, and I'm not saying that there aren't any outliers out there, but women generally do not behave in the way that men do. And even men that are thinking acknowledge that. So what are you saying, sir? You can go ahead. I just had to interject there because
Okay,
that's crazy.
and that's fair because we all have our opinions, but in the reality that I live in, it's not going to stop. Cause
That's not an
bands, cause
opinion.
bands,
It's
cause
not an
bands is
opinion,
gonna make
sir. It's a
bands is
fact.
gonna
It's a
bands is gonna.
fact.
Okay, I said I understood that, but what I'm saying is bands will make her dance. So
What are you talking about?
it doesn't
This is why
matter.
I say
The
stop
caveat.
procreating
Bands
with
will
them.
make
You
her
just proved
dance.
the
What
point.
is
You
bit?
just
What
proved
is
the
Well,
money?
point.
Okay, this is crazy.
Why would
Am I
any
being pranked?
woman
I
in
gotta be
her
being pranked.
why
Because what does
woman in
money
her
got to do with this? What does money have to do with the conversation that we're talking about
because
criminality and grape and unalivings? What does money have to do with any of that?
he came
Why
up
would
to
you
be a
say men's makers?
buffoon. He
What?
came up to be a buffoon, and this is what I'm talking about. Why any woman, what healthy minded woman, this is why I stress the word healthy minded woman, would sit down and procreate with you. No woman would. Why? Gene
Can I
selection
propose
should be a
something too?
thing.
Can I propose something as well?
Go
I
ahead.
believe that it's true that women are less violent, but that also may be a consequence of living with among men who we kind of defer the violence to. I don't know how many studies have been done on women who lack men in their society, but if they were just, I think we've seen some trends in our culture as it starts that if we, in the absence of that, in the absence of protection, in the absence of, men stepping into a man's role, women will assume those roles. So we don't know what that's going to look like in the future if we don't have the men there, or if women will become more violent. You do what you have to do to survive, and if becoming violent is what that looks like, that might be. So I think we might be remiss if we just kind of think that we're going to be in some kind of utopia with women. I think we're all kind of this whole culture has just become really. Um,
Okay.
I can't. I'm
I,
missing the word I'm looking for, but I think
I,
that it's degenerate. It's a
can I
I
can
degenerate
think I
real
culture.
quick?
think that
Please and thank you, media.
Can I
Please.
say something real quick?
yeah. I first of all, I am a little bit taken aback, but I'm gonna keep going and just say this real quick. I think that we don't know. We have no idea what women will do without the absence of males there. But we do have a lot of female only societies that have flourished here, and there wasn't a lot of violent acts going on. There weren't a lot of things going on that happens with males being in society because women are on the same even keel with women as opposed to having men in that male dynamic in their most of the time superior strength and things of that nature. So I disagree with Media Maven wholeheartedly with what she was saying. But I'm gonna go ahead and move forward and let Dark Truth speak, and then I'll go back around and then I'll let Sir respond to probably what everybody's saying. But you can go ahead, Dark Truth.
The first thing I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
and that's what
the
I'm saying
host.
too. Sorry, pretty brilliant. If you that I agree, sis. I see your comment.
I was.
Good.
I think the first thing I was gonna say was that I don't think the host or anybody said that it would be a utopia with women, but that significantly, the crime rate and things like that would drop. So it would be a lot better than what it is now today. Um, the other thing was to what's his name? The swindle dude. Is that I want to know how often do you go into some of these uh, male lives and ask them as far as what would the world be like for black people to the guys that be in there always talking about how black men should just get with YT women or get with all these other women and kind of pretty much kill out the black race in that way. I don't. Do you ever go and ask them those same questions,
I
or do you
mean,
just only
I
reserve that for when you see women talk about it
no,
because
you know
you
what?
kind of
The
get in
thing
your
that
feelings
struck
about the whole
me,
thing?
the thing that struck me was a world without black. First, it was a world without black
AKA
men.
that means no. That means no. He don't.
No, no, no. What I'm saying is, first, it was a world without black
I mean,
men,
no, but the question
and
is
and
the
and, and
question is
that is
though
that
no
is
no no.
where
But the
that
question
is
is,
where I'm at. But
do you go and ask these other men those things when they promote a world without black women? Like, do you go and ask them those things?
Actually,
Because I can tell you,
those things never really come up when you in a male
you're a lie.
conversation
You're a
about,
lie.
oh,
You're a lie. You're a lie. You're a lie.
I'm
You're
a
a lie.
lie.
I've listened. Yes, you're a lie, bro.
Truth, I'm sorry to jump in, but you see the reason why he feels that he needs to interject and jump into the conversation, because when we're saying no more babies, that means he can't get no more cat. Yeah, I would not get access to no more cat. If every black woman collectively said no more children, that means you can't get no more cat. And you heard what he said. Bands can
Disagree.
make her dance. He's thinking about getting his D wet. He does not care about the state
Disagree.
of
Your Honor,
being of the
I
race.
object, Your Honor. I
You can
object.
object. You can object all you want. You the one who said that clown quote. You the one who sound like the clown. I didn't make you sound like a clown. You did it. We talking about like a serious conversation, and you quoted bands will make her dance. You the one who looked like a buffoon here. And my thing is, and then you want to come up and say, well, that struck me, that hurt me when you saying no more black men. Why? So they can say more, so we can hear more asinine comments like that? For what?
I really can't believe that he said bands to make her dance. Like, I'm still actually flabbergasted about that. I mean, are you talking about like buying women? Are you talking about like strippers? Like, what exactly are you talking about? And why would that even be something that you would even say? Because if you were a man of good character, you wouldn't need bands to make her dance. The type of man that you are, that would make her dance alone. Which that just shows that something is very absent in your character. Like, I just
I
The
want to
whole
say, I
idea,
want to
the
say
whole
is
idea.
because he's not taking this whole conversation or anything serious from the get go. That's why he came up here and said that, because it was completely foolish. Because he came up there and said he was in the comments talking about something else, and when he got called out on it, and when y'all presented him with facts, he couldn't argue against it. So he reverted to being a fool on live because he's not taking any of this serious. That's why he won't answer any of the questions that's being asked of him. That's why he's always coming up with something else to make it.
you know what? I'm sorry. You know what, T? I know that you didn't. I know that you lied. I know that you lied. I know that this is not the man that is in this live panel. I
Man
know
that
that
wants
this
to
is not the
defend
man.
why you do like what you mean the world without black men. Now
Oh, I
imagine
get it now.
if your mother was smart to swallow you.
I get it now. I get it now. So I see Sir Swindle is used to swindling women out the vagina or paying it.
So therefore, as long as
Yeah,
we know that,
so therefore, you look like one of the tree people in the fantasy world. You look like a doggone ogre slash, you know what I'm saying, fantasy character, bro. You
I could
can't
look.
fucking be serious, bro. And this is what I mean. It's like every single time, and I really need y'all to understand. This is like almost I've gotten it down to a science now, or not. And I think everybody has. I think when you hear black men come up and say the most ridiculous things, you can guarantee with like 98 to 99% certainty that they look like this. They look like, some genes or some cells didn't properly split in the womb, and that they got some type of, cell damage, and they look delayed. This man eyes is on both sides of his head on two different universes over there. You know what I'm saying? You know what he really giving me? You know the vibes that he's giving Sloth. Sloth from Zootopia. You know them eyes that be like real far apart and they like be real shifty looking. That's exactly what the vibes that he's getting. Like very, very slothy. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know why they're always unattractive. It's really crazy. Like, I mean, I'm tired of seeing it. What I want is for one day that we got an Ashy up here talking and T go click on that profile and she bring me back a man that looks good. Like, that would be what would blow my mind. I'd just be flabbergasted because I'm so tired of all of us clicking on these pictures and seeing men that look like they belong in a horror movie, an extra in Dawn of the Dead. I'm tired of it. I actually am
The
really.
patched up beard, and in this video that I clicked on, he said that he know his worth. He knows he will never get with a baby mama, but at the same time flabbergasted when I say don't not have no more kids. So if you saying you don't want to get with a baby mama, then you should have been happy to hear that. But because we are saying no children, we don't want to lay with no man, no, don't lay with no more black men no more. You thinking about how am I gonna get it wet? How am I gonna get a woman? That is the
Oh my
first thing
goodness.
on your
You
mind.
know what, T? Oh my goodness. Virgo said, and the pictures are always in a car. And that's the truth. And I'm gonna tell you the reason why the pictures are always in a car. The reason why it's always in a car is because a house is dirty, or they sharing a basement in their grandma house, or they got like a shared room. You know what I'm saying? And it's dirty in there. That's the reason why it, or they ain't got no furniture. That's the reason why it's always in a car, because that's the cleanest place that they can take a picture. You know what I'm saying? And I realize that now is that the mirrors are dirty, that background dirty. They ain't got nothing in it. It looks like a ghost town, and that's the reason why it's always in it's always in the whip. But that just is like, I mean, like, honestly, I'm really not even trying to be funny, y'all, at this point. Like, it's just crazy to me that every time I always see these men, and then he talk about he don't want a baby mama. Ain't nobody's baby mama wants you. Don't nobody's grandma wants you. Don't nobody's great grandma wants you. Don't nobody want you at all. So I don't even understand why you discriminate against something that you can't even ever get. You know what I'm saying? That's
And
what's
trigger.
blowing me.
As you can see in the picture right here, you see what type of man this is. This
Hold on, let
man
me
this
go, let me
is.
go, let me expand it.
This is those
Oh, he a
street corner
poopy.
boys that sit
Poopy,
up there,
poopy.
sit a whole table out on a sidewalk playing
Oh,
dominoes with the
oh,
drink on the floor. Now you know that's a dusty. That's
oh,
the dust of the dust of the dust that we be saying. This is
oh,
it.
oh.
This is
Hey,
it.
T. Why he got the $10 card table from Walmart?
Listen, you
He
don't
couldn't
got a
even get
place to
the
live.
hard one.
Look at the grown men that any grown man that stand outside
Oh,
setting up a whole furniture outside because you got no place to live. You popping from woman to woman to find a secure place to live. You living probably in your car. You go home. You have a curfew because you got to make it home to the shelter. Ladies,
oh.
ladies, please listen to me. If you're talking to a dude and he say, "Listen, at a certain time I got to get home," he's living in a shelter and the shelter got a curfew.
Oh my goodness. You know what? Like I said, I'm just too through
Like,
at the
really,
rickety
what
at
working
the at
decent
the
man
rickety
is out there
table.
like
Like
this?
the rickety
And they
table is
and
blowing me.
trigger and trigger, they be out there like this. Listen, I be dropping off my niece in the morning for school, and I
Oh,
come back in dismissal. They still out there.
like I'm telling you, like the fact that this man can't even afford a decent table and decent chairs that cost that whole set right there, them two chairs and that doggone table that cost about $9.99. Only, and that just is blowing me. Like, you want to tell me that you don't want a single baby mama, and you over here with a $9 card table, you can't even afford to get you something proper to be playing on. Like, that is like mind boggling to me. Like, that's crazy, because I can guarantee you the single mother, she can afford a good table. I guarantee you that her table is hard and is made of wood. I can guarantee you that. Anyway, like I said,
I guarantee you. How much you want to bet he's a felon?
girl,
How much
girl,
you want to bet he's a felon?
girl, let me block Truck Guy. Truck Guy, please get out of here before you the next victim. Cause I already clicked on your profile a little earlier, and I already know that you and Ashy. Truck God, don't make me do it to you. Let me just block you.
Just like my girl Coach T says, she said, "How you gonna put your job as your identity?" And that's the weird thing. What I be finding real weird, and I'm happy that you point that out, Coach T. When you see men identity is their occupation, then that's how you know they paying for it. They ain't got
And
no
a
type
truck
of
driver at
character.
that.
They're not likable.
Like, do you own a truck?
We all know
Or
you truck drivers can't get a job nowhere else. We already know how
is
that
that the
go.
white is
The
that the
gig
white
is
T
up.
man's truck you driving? Because you don't believe in the paperwork? You don't want to go file the paperwork so you can get your own truck?
Exactly. They don't mind. They don't mind filing that paperwork to get paid, man. Okay.
Yo,
Only when it comes to marrying somebody. Let me go down here to supervillain. Go ahead, supervillain.
Hey y'all, I'm sorry I was in and out, doing the whole women and capitalism thing. But before I got distracted, I was listening to, I think Trigger, you had pointed out some man said something about women being violent, and they're always gonna say women too. This is my thing, right? I'm not gonna sit here and lie and don't act like they aren't diabolical women and degenerate women. Absolutely. My thing is, y'all still want to be around women though. Like when women are degenerate and diabolical, y'all still don't have no issue being around them. So that's the problem. I don't like when they bring up women predators or anything like that because y'all still want to be in their presence. Unlike women, when we bring this up, we don't want to be around y'all. We want to separate. Y'all still want to be in proximity of women, so it doesn't even make sense to bring those things up. Like T said, a solution would to be stop having children. If y'all feel like women are terrible parents, terrible mothers, terrible stewards of children, why do y'all still want to continue to have children with women? You make no sense. And I always challenge them with this trigger. Okay, I'll give it to them because I'll never take away from someone's experience. I don't do that because I wouldn't want anyone to take care away from mine, right? Let's look at the prison system. Just like in the male side, there are predators and unalivers and abusers and assaulters. They are similar, the same number: predators, unalivers, assaulters in the women's prison. The day a man is more comfortable in a men's prison than a woman's prison, I'll start believing them. Because remember, the same people are in prison, people who commit heinous, diabolical crimes. But you'll never want to be in a man's prison over a woman's prison. You'll feel safer in a woman's prison. And that's the whole point. This is why when they bring that point up, it's very moot and it doesn't make any sense. Yes, we acknowledge that there are women who are degenerate. But every time something happens, and I know y'all hate when I say all men, so I'm going to start saying it's always a man. It is literally always a man. So let's stop. Let's have these honest conversations. Like, we can't even get to the point because we have to weed through the BS every time because they lie. And I tell y'all, when you just tell y'all good morning, look up in the sky because they lie and they lie for absolutely no freaking reason.
All right.
I
I
yield.
just wanted to say, just so for because I upload these lives to YouTube. I want to say I'm definitely not saying that women are not capable of egregious acts or horrible acts, or women can't do bad things at all. All I'm trying to say is that the collective of women have not demonstrated the capacity, for violence and horrific acts that men have. Now, we could say white tea women, but if we take them out, then no. You know what I'm saying? And so when I find men that try to compare what they do to women's behavior, it makes me mad because there literally is no comparison. You know what I'm saying? And I don't, contrary to what Media Maven that was up here, I don't believe whether men were present or not that it would ever degrade into the point of what it is now. I'm not saying that, women wouldn't be out here, squabbling and doing stuff because of, yes, of course. But what I'm saying is the depths of what goes on now, I don't think so. Like I was just hearing about this story, which I had already heard about it, but when I was watching some of Trump's address to the Congress or whatever, I was hearing him talk about this one lady whose daughter had, I guess she had snuck out. She was 12, and then these two men approached her and then ended up, doing something to her and then unaliving her or whatever. And I was just thinking, like, I just don't believe that the majority of women would be capable of doing things like that. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. Women have not proven themselves to be that way at all. You know what I'm saying? So I just, and of course there are women that have done terrible things, and I understand that, but I just don't think when it comes to the heinous acts that have occurred historically, men are behind the majority of those things. Like I said, if we X out white tea women, from there, because of course y'all know the deal. So yeah, that's all I was just trying to say. And I think men use it oftentimes because they would, like Supervillain was saying, feel more comfortable around women as opposed to men. And they even women that have been accused of horrible things. Look at Casey Anthony. Do you think that Casey Anthony is having any difficulties getting men to be involved with her or sleep with her or date her or do things with her? No. She's got 31K followers. It could be more now. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like there is a difference, and men recognize that difference. That's all I'm saying. But like I said, in order for us to resolve any of these things, I just think that when you see Ashley's like Sir Swindler, that was up here, and Truck God or whatever. I blocked both of them already. But the best way for us as women to take any type of power back is to let those men's DNA die out, not to entertain those men at all, not to touch them, not to sleep with them, not to entertain them, not to have their children, anything. Those men need to die off, period. And I really believe that. Well, I don't want people to flag my live. I don't mean they should die. I mean their like lineage should die off. Like they shouldn't be able to reproduce or procreate with anybody. And I think the more women would start doing that, the better off we would be. Because like deadbeat dads, like what we were talking about earlier about Anthony Edwards, he has 4 women that have allowed his DNA to continue on in life, in society. And the type of man that he is, his should have not been allowed to go on. It shouldn't have been able to be passed on and move forward. You get what I'm saying? But I don't know if anybody else wants to speak. So y'all let me know if y'all can unmute yourself if you guys have anything to say.
I agree that he is somebody whose bloodline should have ended, and I hope no qualms about that. There's some people who just they like should not continue on. It's a chromosomal issue. I think that somebody mentioned, like they have something wrong genetically and they should not be allowed to have any more children until they get some type of genetic counseling or something. But yeah, women should not be lining up or volunteering as tribute like it's the Hunger Games to be with no man, especially not a man with the character of an Anthony Edwards. I am scared for, like I said, the kids I mentioned on the other live before, they hated on us. I'm scared for the kids, but also this woman that apparently he got standing beside him through all of this. Like, girl, is you crazy? Like, why would you stand beside a man who he knows that this is his child and is saying like, yeah, no, I don't want to be a dad. What makes you think that he won't do the same thing to you and your child? If the time comes and when the opportunity presents itself, like it's a character flaw. They don't have any type of integrity. They don't have any type of care. They don't care nothing about these kids. And I agree with T Scorpio sentiment, and even Supervillain mentioned it when it comes to just men. Like Black women, well, BOK women are gonna have to take the same stance that BOK men take when it comes to YT people. It's all of them until it's none of them. Don't give them no benefit of the doubts. Don't be trying to say, oh, well, maybe, well, he doesn't. No. Stop dealing with them. It's too much to try to figure out, oh, is this a good one? Is this a bad one? Is this a good one? Is this a bad one? We have to make smarter choices and decisions, especially in America where they taking away rights, this new regime that's in, the financial situation, the economics that we in. Women just can't afford to just keep playing like this, because it's one thing for her to collect this check and get the money, but we're living in a culture and a society where that's not even gonna matter. Like you have a whole child that you have 2 kids, you have 2 whole kids that you have to care for. If something goes down, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I wanted to speak to 2 men in the comments. First of all, I wanted to speak to it's me 7 that said women need to close their legs and want more for them. I said this earlier, but the live got shut down. I want to say this again. The problem with the Black men is that they think that women are the only ones that need to close their legs. You need to close your ashy legs that are full of a dungeon of horrors as well, with HPV and bum bumps all the way down there. You need to close your legs too. And that's the problem in the Black community, that we put all the onus onto Black women. All of everything that needs to go on, everything that should or shouldn't be done, everything rests on the Black women, but y'all swear that y'all kings. First of all, y'all need to do it too. Nobody tells y'all that y'all need to abstain. Nobody tells that y'all need to be celibate. Nobody tells y'all that y'all should maintain y'all virginity. Nobody tells y'all that y'all should wait and have intercourse with a woman that you're married to. Or nobody tells you that you shouldn't have intercourse with no woman that you can't see yourself building a family with and being a father to and raising their children. So how about you take the advice that you're giving Black women and apply it to yourself and close your own doggone legs? Because it's funny that we all got 2 legs up out in this piece, but only one of us is being told to do something. And that's the problem, is that y'all feel like y'all are completely, exempt from responsibility yourself, that everything rests on the woman. But then y'all want somebody to feel like y'all supposed to be above them, telling them what to do. Why in the world should you be telling anybody what to do when you can't even take responsibility for your doggone self? And then number two, I wanted to talk to this dude in the comments. What's your name? Your name is Chef P Boy. Where you're talking about abortion, talking about what's worse, terminating. Like, I don't even understand why you even mentioned anything about like termination. Like you said here in response to this prompt, you said, what's wrong with what he did, but it's okay for you to abort babies. Let me say this. Number one, goofball, your cooking is trash. All right. It smells just like your name. P. And I know that's not what you mean it, but your name is Chef P Boy, in my opinion. Okay. And you look like you're probably somewhere cooking some chitlins and hog maws. Definitely not fine dining at your establishment. But let me say this, all right, sir. This man wanted her to abort the baby. That's number one. So why don't you address the many men, many black men that encourage black women to terminate their pregnancies because they're lazy, shiftless bums that don't want any responsibility. They want to go ahead and be the man and have intercourse with all of these women, and they want to have it unprotected, but they don't want to bear any responsibility in it. That's number one. Number two, y'all bash women either way. If the woman keeps the baby, you're telling her she's a single mother, a baby mama, and she is inadequate or unworthy of love for the rest of her life because she chose to have a child and not terminate it. Then if she terminates it, y'all have a problem with it. But y'all never telling each other that, hey, stop ejaculating into these ladies. Stop doing stuff with these women that you know that you're not going to take care of the children that come from that. So why aren't you talking about that as a man with that stupid chef hat that you got on your head? Huh? Why don't you address that? It's so crazy. Y'all are so uneducated and so ignorant and so idiotic. You know what I'm saying? It makes me so upset that y'all want to go over here and run through all of these women, hurt their feelings, leave them with children, and you want all of the responsibility to be on them, but you want to be known as some type of black king. Like, man, if y'all don't get out of here and get real and get a clue, the only thing that I agree with anything that anybody has said when it comes to these things is black women, y'all hear what these men say. You hear what they think. You hear what they think about you. I would say you should never entertain or have a child or even entertain a man, period, unless he's your husband. Period. I don't think women should even have intercourse with y'all. I don't think women should touch y'all. I don't think women should even look y'all way because y'all are not worthy of anything. You know what I'm saying? And that is the truth. I really, truly, wholeheartedly believe it. I believe the more black women that look at y'all like somebody like Chef P Boy or somebody like It's Me, and y'all look at them and say, ew, no. And y'all literally don't entertain them. You don't talk to them. You don't touch them. You don't have intercourse. You give them the cold shoulder. They would do better and be more careful with what comes out of their fat, nasty, dirty, plaque-filled lips. You know what I'm saying? And I really do truly believe that. I know that your name is Po Boy, dummy, but I'm calling you Chef P Boy because that's what you are, filled with waste. All right? I'm
Trigger,
sorry that you don't understand.
bring Chef up. He ain't got no teeth. He was on Jazzy's live and he was struggling to talk because Chef ain't got no teeth.
Oh, he got the dentures.
Yeah,
He got the
bring him
dentures
up,
going on.
and listen and let him talk. You're gonna hear the dentures slipping out of his mouth. He has no teeth.
You know what? You know what? You know what? This is what did we just talk about earlier? We just said that every time these men get up in here and they speak, they're always an extra off of Dawn of the Dead. This don't make no sense, bro. Let me take a look at Chef P Boy. Hold on. Let me
Having no teeth and being a chef is
Yeah,
diabolical.
that is diabolical. How you testing your food, bro? He tasting it with his tongue. He licking it. Chef ain't got no teeth. Bring him up.
Now that's
Trigger, please
audacity right
give him a
there.
request. Send him a request. He ain't got no teeth. He doesn't have any teeth.
Oh, Lord,
I would
Lord.
never forget how you a chef with no teeth because Supervillain pointed out in Jazzy Live. You pointed out, you said the same thing, Supervillain. You said how you a chef with no teeth. What?
Lord.
Yo, let him come up and talk. He ain't got no teeth.
He ain't sending me no request. This okay? Are y'all? Is that the It's Just Me? The It's Just Me is who you got up, and this
Yeah,
is Chef
Sid
P
right
Boy.
here. He said he only slept with 2 women. Yes, I believe you. I believe you.
Now
I believe you.
this is a Chef P Boy right here, and I'm gonna tell you what Chef P Boy looked like. If I saw him on the side of the road and it was dark outside, I would start gripping my blicky in my bag. This man looked like he the type of man that want to try to talk to your daughter when you went and took a shower or something like that. He looks highly suspicious. Highly suspicious. Oh my goodness. This is
Come up and
ridiculous.
talk. Chef, come up and talk and prove you got teeth. Come up here and talk and prove you got teeth.
Oh my goodness. This is ridiculous. Like I said, y'all, I mean, the only thing that I'm hoping is that one day, I will be proved wrong. But I know that I won't. Every time these men come in here with this BS, it's always just a dust storm. You know? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. All right. Chef P boy, you know what, sir? I promise you. How many felonies you got? Tell me when's the last time you were in prison? Because I know a prison face when I see one. I know you've been to jail. And I'm not saying this out of any type of microaggressions, though. I know a man has been to the clinker. They have a look to him, a hard weathered look. What was you making when you was in jail, Chef P boy? You was making some doggone sangria out the toilet water? Huh? You was making grilled cheese sandwiches with like an iron or something like that? What was you doing? How was you making? How was you making? But I know that you've been in jail before, Chef P boy. Sloppy, he was making sloppy joes with toe jam seasoning. So, Chef P boy, you said make your father like my daddy ain't never been in jail or prison, Chef P boy. All right, you learned how to cook in prison when they was giving you them doggone summer sausages and canned beans, and yeah, and spicy noodles, them ramen noodles.
Hold up. I seen something earlier when they was making prison omelets out of hot water in a Ziploc. Now that's talent. I ain't gonna lie. That's some talent. I ain't never seen that before.
Hey, I follow Prison Talk, Chef P boy. That's how I know for sure, sir. I know for sure you been to prison, bro. They always got
Deny
that
it though.
weathered
You
face.
notice he didn't deny it.
I know, because look, I'm telling you, I can tell the men that went to jail, they always got that hard looking face. And I'm gonna tell y'all why they got that hard looking face, because they always got to keep their straight face, because they remember back when they was big, when they remember when they was big Bubba's bed biatch. You know what I'm saying? And
But that's my thing,
they was tooting
Trigger.
that booty up. They was
But
tooting that booty up.
the men
Yeah.
that's so angry at us are men who just came out of prison. I always ask this question. Dude, you've been in jail for 5+ years showering with other men. How do you come out and hate women? Don't you miss women?
Exactly, exactly.
Don't
Like my
you
thing
love
is,
women?
you should be mad at the brothers. They was the ones,
Who put you there?
violating you when you dropped the soap. They was the ones touching on that apple bottom when you dropped the soap, not us. We wasn't doing that.
Facts.
That was Big Bubba.
Big
That was Big Bubba.
facts. Mad at us. We didn't put you there. You didn't see not one woman in about 5, 10, 15 years. And you come
T,
out of
I
jail
disagree.
talking about I read the 10
T,
laws of
I
power,
disagree.
whatever, 48 laws of power. You hate
I,
women.
I'm
Like,
gonna tell
really?
you why they hate women. They always say it's single mothers' fault why they end up in prison. Now,
Oh,
if they
right,
single
right, right.
T,
I
if they
forgot.
single
You're right.
mother wasn't with them, knocking down liquor stores and pew pew in the playground, maybe they wouldn't ended up in jail. We all
You're
know,
right.
like their partner in crime are single mothers. They
And
all
then they end
knocking
up
down liquor stores. That's why they hate women.
You're
and
right.
then they
You're
end
right.
up I think they come out hating, I mean not liking women because they end up being cellmates with their dad. They reunite in jail, and so then they just sit around listening to their dad tell stories about how their mother tried to keep them away from them, and that's why he wasn't in their life. Not that he was in jail doing a bid, it was the mom.
Yep, that too. I mean, like I said, y'all, Michelle said, I guess we're done with the topic. Michelle, you know what? It's just funny. Like I wasn't even once all of these ashes kept coming, I just stopped taking it seriously. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I feel like any black woman that like comes across my lives, you know what I'm saying? First of all, Chef P boy, let me say this real quick. Look, I just already said my daddy ain't never, ever, ever been to jail or ever been to prison or ever been anybody's bottom bunk buddy. Okay? So that's number one. Number two, I don't have any brothers and I don't have any sons. I'm an only child. So yeah, there's that. So please don't try to, project your reality of, bed buck horrors onto everybody else here on the panel. All right. So stop it. But what I was saying to Michelle is that I just really stopped taking it seriously. It's not that big a deal. I think any woman that would be on my platform or my live, especially when it's only like 39, 40 of us, they would already not be this type of woman. They wouldn't be as irresponsible as Ayesha Howard, and they're not entertaining Dusties. You know what I'm saying, or deadbeat dads. So I I was just really just having a conversation. You know what I'm saying? It's really, to be honest with you, the people that really need to be spoken to the most part about this, are black men, because they're never shamed or spoken to harshly about the idea of them wanting to put their thing into anybody who will allow them to, and to walk away from, being a father. And I think a lot of times when black men will come and give these like little BS stats where they talk about, oh, black men, don't have any children and they have the least amount of children and all these things. I think we also forget the fact that there are so many black men that have children that deny them, have children that lie about it, have children they don't sign a birth certificate, or they have children by a black woman and she tried to get them to take responsibility and they didn't. And she said, you know what, forget you, Negro. And she went ahead and did it on her own. And that man isn't on record as being a father or a parent. So I think we also have to take that in mind as well, that there are a lot of black men that are indeed fathers, but they have, completely shirked off the responsibility of them being fathers and parents, So yeah. So like I said, I don't really take the numbers when it comes to how many children black men have seriously, because y'all lie so much about having children, about y'all, like you be like, oh, I'm not the daddy, I'm not the daddy. Okay, well, so did you have intercourse with that woman unprotected? Yeah, but I'm not the daddy, I'm not the daddy, I'm not the daddy. And y'all very well could be the daddy. So I don't trust y'all and what y'all say about how many children that y'all have. This Anthony Edwards, he had DNA tests on most of these kids and he was denying them, everywhere. Say, oh, they not my kids, they not my kids, but they were his kids. Now imagine if there was some type of study done or census done on him having kids. He would have told them that he had 0 children, right? But in reality, he had 4. You get what I'm saying? So like, no. Don't nobody believe nothing that y'all have going on. At least I don't. I can't speak for everyone else, but black men are
I don't
highly irresponsible and sexually undisciplined. So I refuse to believe that y'all all don't got a bajillion babies out here running around. Go ahead, Coach T.
I don't believe them, and I think it's exactly what you said, where men haven't quote unquote legitimized their children, because when you are married, it's automatically assumed that your husband is the father of your child, even if your husband is not the paternal father of the child. By the eyes of the law, your husband is your child's father. And so all the single mothers, all the children not being born out of wedlock, they aren't being legitimized by a father. And it's not because the mothers don't know who their fathers are, it's because the fathers refuse to take responsibility for their children. And it's not new, it's something that they've been doing. I was thinking the other day, because I'm really into true crime, right? And a lot of cold case crimes and stuff be getting solved with like this genealogical DNA, where they'll take somebody's DNA kit or like a kit and run it through a database and find like they cousins and stuff. I wonder how many children who don't have fathers listed on their birth certificates, how many fathers we could find when we run these genealogical studies and we see how many children y'all really have.
Yeah.
Talk right there. I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead, T. You have something to say, T?
Yeah, no, I was going to say that's real talk, and I talk about that consistently. I always keep saying that. I say all the time how these dudes are running around here talking about legacy, and they got a problem with single mothers, got a problem with stepdaddies being in the picture, and I always keep mentioning, and when was the last time you got a DNA test, sir? You don't even know for a fact that your child is even your child, or even the men that's even talking, you don't even know if your daddy is even your daddy. You have no clue. You never took a DNA test. So when I hear these men always talk about legacy, like I said, talk about legacies and everything, like I said on the other live, when I said that men, Y'all are at the mercy of the women, and I think that's also the root of their resentment, that they children lies within the mercy of a woman. Because if a woman choose not to give you a child, you won't have no child. But a woman can always run off and get pregnant and have a child. But you have to connect yourself to a woman to know that you had a child. And if that child is even yours, I will always bring it up. I will always bring it up, especially when they like to talk about their grandparents' marriage. They've been together for 50 years. And I always challenge them, did you ever go get a DNA test with your grandfather? If your grandfather is still alive, go get a DNA test with him, since you believe that your grandmother was so virtuous, was so perfect. Yeah, chef, you claim you got a daughter. Did you get a DNA test? You have no clue that you even have a child. You have no
You,
clue. You have no clue. You don't know if your daddy is even your daddy. Your mother is probably not even your biological mother. She's probably your grandmother, and your sister that you was raised with is actually your biological mother.
I'm about to block Chef P Boy because somebody restricted the live. But Chef P Boy, I'm just gonna tell you this real quick: is that you are a felon. You and I both know it. That's the reason why you didn't deny what we said, because you're a felon. I know a felon face when I see one. So you are the last person that should be talking about whether women are S or aren't S. You know what I'm saying? Point blank, period. Because the type of women that you can attract are not the type of women that a good man can attract. So, of course, when you attract the most hoodest, booger, low class, no moral having woman, that's the only type of woman that would entertain you. So, of course, you need to get a DNA, because the woman that's entertaining you is so desperate and thirsty that she's probably entertaining another five Dusties as well. So it's like there's a difference in the type of women that you can get versus a man that actually has some freaking sense and isn't a four-time felon. All right. That was not out there making hooch out of his toilet water in prison. You get what I'm saying? You just said no ignorant woman like Luke you. You can't even spell. You can't even spell ignorant. You can't even spell like. So, like I just said, Chef P Boy, I'm not about to play no games with you. You are a felon. Okay. And I know that there are certain places that you cannot be, certain places that you cannot exist in. And this is one of them. So let me go ahead and block you, Chef P Boy. Go ahead and continue to, figure out new and inventive ways of making ramen noodle sandwiches. Okay. Because that's what you learned when you were in the clinker, in between, you getting your manhood taken by Big Buck Bubba. All right. So let me go ahead and block you. Have a great day, sir. Bye. Oh my goodness. Anyway, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and yes, girl. I don't know what that man was on. He couldn't even spell. How you going to insult me and you can't even spell? You over here talking about women ain't no good and you are a felon. You know what I'm saying? Because if he wasn't a felon, he would have clearly came in and said, no, I'm not a felon. He said everything else except that he wasn't a felon. But like I said, I have like this like little jailbird sensor, because I'm telling you, they look the same. Like if you look deeply at them, you can tell when they've been to the clinker. But anyway, I'm gonna let everybody speak really quick, and then I'm gonna go ahead and end this live, y'all. So I'm gonna go down here to super villain first. Yes, all the Dusties came here, Nate. Like it's crazy. It was like Dust City. Go ahead, super. But you know what? Oh my gosh, I just realized why it was Dust City, because I titled the live "Deadbeat Dads and Child Support." So that's the reason why all the dusty black men came, because they were hit dogs hollering. That's exactly what it was.
That makes
Go ahead,
sense.
super villain.
That makes sense. I just want to end, or my last word be, and I just want to piggyback off what T said earlier. A lot of these men only know they have children because they're attached to women. I didn't make this up. Mother Nature is trying to course correct. For some reason, we keep fighting back. It's a reason why men's contribution is 9 seconds, and that's being generous, versus women's contribution, which is 9 months. It's a reason why women's maternity is known and men's paternity, it depends. Like, y'all really give men more credit than they deserve. We're really supposed to regulate them to DNA and labor purposes only, but for some reason, romance got a lot of women in a chokehold. We got to start navigating accordingly. There would simply be no deadbeat dads if we stopped giving dads any proximity to kids in the first place. And that's not to go with saying the good dads out there, because I tell you all the time, I love my daddy. He raised me to be the strong black man that I am today. That's why I'm a masculine woman. But we have to start moving and navigating accordingly. Again, Mother Nature is trying to course correct. Y'all stop fighting back. A lot of these dudes' bloodlines should have been extinguished a long time ago. So let's just take note moving forward. Thank you, Trey. I'm out of here.
Okay, no problem, supervillain. Oh, and I just wanted to say to T Scorpio that was in here, I appreciate you so much, sis. Thank you so much for coming and following me to the other live after the other one they was hating on us. Thank you. And also to you, supervillain, and also to you, Coach T. Thanks for following me too, sis, because I needed y'all here today. But go ahead, Coach T.
Oh no, Trigger, it's not a problem. I always love your spaces. Like I say, I always come up and thank you for having these spaces, because we need to have these conversations even in spite of the haters that come in. The He-Man Woman Haters clubs that come through, because it's important, like I said, for us as black women to be able to get together and have these conversations and share the information, because like Supervillain said, the correction is taking place. They screaming, kicking, and fighting. Y'all better get right before y'all get left. Okay? So for black women, just y'all, we are valuable, we are worthy. Our lives don't have to be, if you're a baby mother, a single mother, your life does not have to become a sum of, some man who quote unquote pumped and dumped you. You can live whatever life that you want and be the best mother that you can be for your kids, and be the best woman that you can be for yourself.
Yes, I wholeheartedly agree with everything that Coach T said. I really do. And I think that single mothers get a lot of flack and things of that nature, but we all make mistakes. We all do things that, we regret after the fact. And just know that you can always just like I think it was Supervillain that was saying, you can always course correct. You can always fix your mistakes. You can always just say moving forward, hey, I just make sure that I won't entertain, these men again, or whatever the case may be. So yeah, I totally agree with everything that you ladies said, for real. Black women, I love y'all, all of y'all. All of y'all, I love y'all. No matter what decisions or choices that you made, the only thing that we can do in this life is, we make a mistake, we got to just fix it and move forward. That's it. Nobody's life is freaking over because you make a mistake. The only time your life is over when you keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again. You know what I mean? Other than that, you can always live another day to do better. All right. So anyway, I'll see y'all later. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this, and hopefully I wasn't too harsh on the men, but I know that I wasn't. All right, bye.